Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into today's material. I'm really pumped for this one because we're unpacking a topic that honestly kind of makes our heads spin sometimes, but it's absolutely fascinating when you look at it through the right lens. Have you ever felt totally unsure about something you used to believe with 100% certainty? Well, today we're taking a philosophical journey into the nature of uncertainty. We're going to break down exactly how we perceive truth and doubt based on some really profound source material. Let's kick things off with a pretty fundamental question. Is it true there is no certainty? It's a super relatable question, right? So often, we see someone's convictions, even about foundational things like life principles, just totally waver. And you have to wonder why. Why do our core beliefs crumble so easily when we're faced with facts that seem to just fluctuate all around us? Here is our logical roadmap for peeling back the layers of this topic today. 1. The trap of uncertainty illusion. 2. The failure of simple rebuttals. 3. Digging into the roots of relativity. 4. Four dimensions of uncertainty. 5. Uncertain doesn't mean collapsed. And finally, 6. Conclusion, not yet certain. Let's jump right into Section 1, the trap of uncertainty illusion. So, how exactly do we lose our convictions? It's usually not because we lost some grand rational argument. Nope. The illusion actually starts when our perspectives get a little twisted and sudden doubt just sneaks in. We start getting totally confused by concepts like relative and subjective. When we see circumstances changing or facts fluctuating, we mistakenly think that means there's a complete lack of consistency. And that brings us to this completely false, paralyzing conclusion that inconsistent facts equal no certainty at all. Relying solely on these fluctuating circumstances makes people fall into this massive trap where they literally think there's no fixed truth left to hold on to. It's this huge logical leap, and we're going to see why. Which brings us to Section 2, the failure of simple rebuttals. You've probably heard this classic comeback before. Someone says, "Nothing is certain," and then someone else smugly replies, "Hold on. By saying there's no certainty, you're actually asserting the certainty of uncertainty itself." It's a classic logical trap from our source material. And yeah, technically, this argument closes the logical gap. But here's the crucial point. While that simple rebuttal might be logically sound, let's be real, does it actually help? Our text highlights that this kind of comeback is incredibly dry, totally uninformative, and just leaves things ambiguous. It doesn't give you any true philosophical enlightenment or comfort when you're genuinely wrestling with doubt. We need something way more solid than just a clever word game. Let's shift our paradigm entirely in Section 3, digging into the roots of relativity. This is such a brilliant analogy to anchor our understanding. Think about fire. Fire always burns. People fall into the trap of thinking there's no certainty because they only look at the different superficial outcomes. But what they don't realize is that certainty doesn't lie in the subjective results. It lies in the underlying system, the fundamental laws of nature that control those circumstances. The surface-level facts might change, but the underlying system, like fire's consistent nature to burn, that is your certainty. And this leads us to a really sharp definition of subjectivity. The text gives us this incredible insight when we try to step out of our subjectivity. Don't trick yourself into thinking you've suddenly jumped into some vacuum of pure objectivity. No way. You're actually just shifting into a different subjectivity. Why? Because every single interaction is anchored to an absolute foundation. So even when we view reality as a wide range of choices, we are all still standing on the exact same absolute limit. Now, let's get analytical in Section 4, four dimensions of uncertainty. Let's break uncertainty down into four super digestible realms. First up, absolute. Uncertainty here just means a difference in context or regional limits. Second, relative. Uncertainty at this level just means there's a difference in dynamics or diversity. Third, subjective. This is just a difference in how we adapt to situations. And finally, objective. Objective uncertainty literally just means a difference in viewpoints or decision results. Do you see how uncertainty functions safely in each of these specific dimensions without actually destroying the underlying reality? So what's the big takeaway here? It's that reality is incredibly resilient. Our text emphasizes that even when our viewpoints or objectivity differ, the actual fundamental reality causing that difference doesn't change one bit. Every shift you experience is just a change in your range, the dynamics, or your adaptation. The foundation? It stays completely intact. This brings us directly to Section 5. Uncertain doesn't mean collapsed. Think about this question for a second. If the dimension of reality hasn't collapsed and the value of right and wrong still totally exists within the system, then where exactly is the uncertainty? If the whole system is still intact, what are we actually calling uncertain here? The answer is actually super relieving. Uncertainty simply lives in the space where the right or wrong value hasn't been decided yet. It means there's no direct link between something being relative and it being right or wrong. Uncertainty is purely neutral. It doesn't destroy the truth. It's just sitting in the waiting room. The system hasn't collapsed at all. Let's bring it all together in Section 6, Conclusion, Not Yet Certain. Our source text peels back the absolute deepest layer of the onion here. The true, concrete value of uncertainty isn't just that something is neutrally undecided. Philosophically, if something were truly, genuinely uncertain, it would mean there is absolutely no reality left to be perceived in any way whatsoever. As long as you can still perceive the situation, even if your viewpoint differs from someone else's, the reality is still there, and therefore, the certainty of the system remains. So here is our ultimate paradigm shift. When you're in doubt, saying there is no certainty is just a totally flawed, inaccurate mindset. The much more enlightened, precise mindset that actually aligns with reality is simply stating, this is not yet certain. It's a tiny linguistic shift, but it completely changes our relationship with doubt from something terrifying to a rational process of observation. To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. How will shifting your mindset from the despair of nothing is certain to the calm objectivity of not yet certain change how you approach your very next moment of doubt? I hope this deep dive has given you a totally new philosophical lens for your daily life. Keep questioning, keep structuring your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one.